Let me ask you something. Are you just reporting results, or are you actually shaping decisions? Too many FP&A analysts and staff accountants believe their job ends when the numbers are accurate, the reconciliation ties out, and the dashboard is published. But that's only the beginning. If you want to grow your influence, if you want a seat at the strategy table, you have to move beyond reporting what happened and start helping leadership decide what happens next. The professionals who get promoted, the ones who shape this direction, the ones who become trusted advisors, they don't just measure performance, they help lead it. Please enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Finance Leader Podcast, where leadership is bigger than the numbers. I am your host, Stephen McLean. This is the podcast for developing leaders in finance and accounting. Please consider following me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. My usernames and links are in this episode's show notes. You can also follow Finance Leader Academy on LinkedIn. Thank you. This is episode number 153, and I'll be talking about how to grow beyond just reporting the numbers, but to have real strategic impact. And I will highlight the following topics. Number 1, shift from scorekeeper to strategist. Number 2, build credibility by understanding the business beyond finance. And 3, communicate like an executive so your analysis actually drives action. Well, good day, everyone. How and what are you achieving in 2026? We are now 2 months in, and I believe we are just getting started. Have you completed any big goals yet? Are you making progress? Don't forget to work on your CPEs while you are working on other things. As you know, life and work get crazy, so ensure you are knocking out 3 to 6 CPEs per month to keep your certification, to be compliant in your role, and ultimately to learn something in our field so you are current on what is happening. The last episode I shared, episode number 152, when FP&A translates drivers, strategy finally moves, we show how finance becomes a real partner to operations by translating numbers into drivers, embedding FP&A in decisions before they are made, and aligning metrics and incentives to strategy. If you missed this episode, please go back so you can listen. Thank you. My challenge for you, no matter your role, is to have influence in every space you walk into. I want you to be the expert, the one who not only knows their job, but who can also convince leaders at every level on the proper course of action to take on a decision, and what direction to move in regarding strategy. The core skills you need to be developing are expanding your business acumen, strategic thinking, analytical storytelling, executive communication and presence, and also relationship building. I have talked about this topic in the past because it's critically important. You can sit by at your desk sending well-formatted, Excel-designed reports that probably don't matter. Or you can start to be a leader who provides unique insights that help the company achieve its strategy. For corporate FP&A analysts and staff accountants, developing executive communication and confidence is not optional if long-term growth is your goal. It is the bridge between strong analysis and strategic impact. Because in the end, insight that is not clearly communicated is insight that does not influence. Now, an important shift is moving from analysis to recommendation. Many analysts stop at insight. Strategists go one step further. They say, for example, based on this data, here are 2 options leadership could consider. Even a simple recommendation changes how others perceive you. It signals ownership. It shows that you are thinking about trade-offs and risk and long-term impact. It demonstrates that you are not just a processor of information, but a partner in decision-making. Please subscribe to the podcast on the platform you're currently listening to, and also please subscribe to my weekly email. When you subscribe to the email, you will receive a free guide about developing your finance leadership. It's filled with many tips and strategies to grow your leadership. Thank you. Now let's talk about how to grow beyond just reporting the numbers. Number 1, shift from scorekeeper to strategist. For many corporate FP&A analysts and staff accountants, the early years of a career are centered on accuracy and discipline and consistency. close the books on time, reconcile the accounts, produce the variance report, deliver the dashboard. These are foundational skills and they matter. But if you want to grow in influence and become more strategic, you must recognize a critical truth. Reporting performance is not the same as shaping performance. A scorekeeper documents what happened. A strategist helps determine what happens next. The shift begins with intent. Instead of asking, are the numbers right? Begin asking, what do these numbers mean for the business? A variance report is not the final product. It is the starting point for a conversation. Why did revenue miss? Is this a pricing issue, a volume issue, or a mix issue? Is the cost increase structural or temporary? Does this trend signal operational inefficiency, changing customer behavior, or a strategic risk that leadership needs to address? Strategic finance professionals move beyond describing results and begin diagnosing drivers. They connect financial outcomes to operational activities. They understand how sales pipeline conversion affects revenue timing. They know how production constraints impact gross margin. They recognize how hiring decisions today affect cash flow 6 months from now. When finance speaks the language of business drivers, not just debits and credits, credibility grows. Becoming more strategic also requires forward-looking thinking. Historical reporting has value, but strategy lives in the future. Forecasting, scenario planning, and sensitivity analysis are tools that elevate influence. When you can articulate how a 2% decline in volume affects EBITDA, cash flow, and covenant compliance, and what actions might mitigate that impact, you position yourself as someone who helps manage risk, not just measure it. Finally, translating numbers into decisions requires strong communication. Executives do not need spreadsheets. They need clarity. Lead with the conclusion. Be concise. Tie every insight to business impact. Instead of saying SG&A is 5% over budget, say, if this trend continues, operating margin will compress by 80 basis points, which puts our annual target at risk. Here are 2 levers we can pull to correct the course. Now that is the language of strategy. Number 2, build credibility by understanding the business beyond finance. One of the fastest ways for corporate FP&A and staff accountants to become more strategic is to step outside the boundaries of finance and learn how the business actually operates. Financial statements tell you what happened. Operations, sales, marketing, and the supply chain tell you why it happened. If you want influence, you must understand both. Many finance professionals unintentionally limit their impact because they stay inside the numbers. They master Excel. They reconcile accounts flawlessly. They produce clean forecasts. But strategic credibility grows when operational leaders believe you understand their world, their constraints, their pressures, their goals, and their risks. When a plant manager explains production bottlenecks, can you connect that to cost absorption and margin volatility? When the sales leader discusses pipeline softness, can you translate that into revenue timing risk and working capital implications? When HR discusses hiring plans, can you articulate the long-term fixed cost structure impact? That is where cross-functional credibility begins. Strategic finance professionals learn the drivers behind the numbers. They ask questions. They attend operational meetings. They walk the floor. They listen to customer-facing teams. They build relationships before they need something. Over time, this positions them not as the finance person who asks for data, but as a partner who helps solve problems. This credibility also changes the tone of conversations. Instead of saying, "You're over budget," you might say, "I see why overtime is increasing. Demand volatility is driving it. Let's look at whether adjusting staffing models or pricing could stabilize margin." Now that shift transforms finance from an enforcer into a collaborator. Cross-functional credibility also strengthens strategic alignment. When finance understands how value is created in the organization, how customers are acquired, how products are delivered, how services are priced, it becomes easier to align forecasting, capital allocation, and performance metrics with the company's broader strategy. Finance can then ask better questions. Are we investing in the right growth areas? Are incentives aligned with long-term goals? Are we measuring the right drivers? Ultimately, learning the business beyond finance builds trust, and trust creates influence. When operational leaders view you as someone who understands their challenges and helps them think through trade-offs, they invite you into earlier conversations before decisions are finalized. That is the difference between being informed after the fact and being involved in shaping direction. For FP&A analysts and staff accountants who want to become more strategic, the path is clear. Master your technical foundation, but expand your business fluency. The more deeply you understand how the organization creates value, the more powerful and relevant your financial insight becomes. Strategy is not created in the general ledger. It is shaped at the intersection of finance and of the business. Number 3, communicate like an executive so your analysis actually drives action. Technical skill may earn you credibility, but executive communication earns you influence. For corporate FP&A analysts and staff accountants who want to become more strategic, the ability to communicate clearly, concisely, and confidently is often the differentiator between being heard and being overlooked. Many finance professionals default to detail. They walk through the spreadsheets line by line. They explain every assumption. They justify every calculation. While accuracy is important, senior leaders are not looking for a data download. They are looking for clarity. Executives want to know what's happening. Why does it matter? What should we do? Strategic finance professionals learn to lead with the conclusion. Instead of building up to the answer, they start with it. Revenue is trending 3% below forecast due to slower enterprise conversions. If this continues, EBITDA will miss target by $2 million. We recommend adjusting pricing or reducing discretionary spend to protect margin. Now that framing communicates ownership, insight, and decisiveness. Confidence also plays a critical role. Analysts and staff accountants sometimes hesitate to speak up, especially in rooms filled with senior leaders. But confidence does not mean arrogance. It means preparation. When you understand the drivers behind your analysis and anticipate likely questions, you can speak with authority. Preparation reduces hesitation. Clarity reduces uncertainty. Rehearsal reduces anxiety. Developing executive presence also requires learning the language of business outcomes rather than accounting terminology. Instead of saying there's an unfavorable variance in SG&A, say spending is increasing faster than revenue growth, which will compress operating margin unless corrected. The second statement connects the data to impact, and impact is what drives decisions. Another critical aspect of communication is brevity. Strategic leaders value time. If you can explain a complex issue in 3 sharp sentences rather than 10 minutes of explanation, your credibility rises. This does not mean oversimplifying. It means synthesizing. The ability to distill complexity into clarity is a hallmark of strategic thinking. Finally, confidence grows when you see yourself as more than a technical contributor. If you view your role as simply reporting numbers, you will communicate cautiously. If you view your role as protecting and advancing the organization's strategy, your posture changes. You begin speaking as a partner, not a subordinate. And influence is what moves careers and organizations forward. The path from scorekeeper to strategist is not about abandoning technical excellence. It is about building on it. Accuracy earns trust. Insight earns attention. Recommendation earns influence. Corporate FP&A analysts and staff accountants who learn to translate numbers into decisions become indispensable. They don't just report the story of the business, they help write the next chapter. Now for action today, I want you to evaluate yourself against what I discussed today. Are you influencing strategy, or are you just reporting numbers into a void? Are you sitting at the right tables? Are you growing your influence so you help the company achieve its strategy? Now, if not, then you can make the adjustments to partner around the company to bring the influence I know that you can. If you're listening to this and thinking, I want to operate at that level, then the CFO Mindset course inside Finance Leader Academy was built for you. It's designed to help you move beyond reporting numbers and start influencing strategy with practical frameworks, real-world scenarios, and executive-level thinking you can apply immediately. Don't wait for the promotion to start thinking like a CFO. Start developing the mindset now. Visit financeleaderacademy.com and enroll in the CFO Mindset course today. Today, I talked about how to grow beyond just reporting the numbers, but to have real strategic impact, and I highlighted the following points. Number 1, shift from scorekeeper to strategist. Number 2, build credibility by understanding the business beyond finance. And 3, communicate like an executive so your analysis actually drives action. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to challenge you. Don't wait for a title change to start thinking like a strategic finance leader. Influence doesn't begin when you become a CFO. It becomes the moment you decide to move beyond reporting and start driving decisions. This is exactly what the CFO mindset is about. It's about shifting from explaining variances to shaping outcomes, protecting the numbers to protecting the strategy, and delivering reports to delivering clarity. And here's the reality. Your technical skills might get you hired, but your ability to think strategically, communicate clearly, and influence decision, that's what will get you promoted. If you want to go deeper into building that kind of leadership capability, I encourage you to explore the resources available through Finance Leader Academy. Everything we build there is designed to help finance professionals move from tactical execution to strategic impact. Because finance doesn't exist just to measure performance. Finance exists to help lead the organization forward. And the more you develop that mindset now, the more doors will open for you in the future. I hope you enjoyed the Finance Leader podcast. If this episode helped you today, please share with a colleague and leave a review. Please check out financeleaderacademy.com for more resources and for ways that I can help you and your team. And now, go lead your team, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.